What are the steps to becoming a Canadian citizen? This video is for you, whether you are a permanent resident, you are a student, you are a worker, or you are even an asylum claimant. The first step to becoming a Canadian citizen is to first become a permanent resident of Canada. So I'm going to divide it into 4 parts. I'm going to start with those who arrived Canada as permanent residents. Whether you came through express entry, through a provincial nominee program, your husband sponsored you, your wife sponsored you, your parents sponsored you, or even your children sponsored you. You've not had any previous status in Canada. You just came directly from outside of Canada into Canada as a permanent resident. If that is you, then you need to have lived in Canada for at least 1,095 days, which is 3 years out of the last 5 years. And that's what qualifies you to apply for Canadian citizenship. Now, the second group are the international students. So if you are an international student and you are wondering how you can become a Canadian citizen, you need to first of all become a permanent resident of Canada. Now, there are several pathways to becoming a permanent resident after schooling. The most obvious one is the Canadian Experience class, whereby after graduating in Canada, you apply for your postgraduate work permit, which allows you to work for a period of time. And depending on the job that you are working at, you can then be able to join the express entry pool and then apply for permanent residency through the Canadian Experience class. Besides that, there are also other provincial nominee-based programs which you can apply for to become a permanent resident. Now, I want you to take note. The time you spent being an international student would count towards your 1,095 days, which you need for citizenship. However, the maximum you can claim is 1 year. Then, after you become a permanent resident, you still need another 2 years as a permanent resident before you can become eligible to apply for Canadian citizenship. The third group is for work permit holders. So if you are a work permit holder, before you become a citizen, you must first again become a permanent resident. Depending on the job that you've worked at, you can qualify for permanent residency majorly through the Canadian Experience class, just like the international students who have graduated as well. The time that you spent being a work permit holder, you can only claim again up to 1 year of physical presence. After you become a permanent resident, you still need to have stayed in Canada for at least another 2 years. The final group are the asylum seekers. So as an asylum seeker, you've come to Canada, you declared asylum, you are still waiting for your claim to be heard. So meanwhile, you have a work permit and you are working. I just want to let you know that the time you spend living in Canada and waiting for your immigration hearing, it does not count towards the 3 years you need for citizenship. The only time that counts is after your hearing has been approved, you are now a protected person. That time gap between being a protected person and being a permanent resident of Canada, that time can count towards your citizenship. So whether you are a permanent resident, you are an international student, you are a work permit holder, or you are a refugee claimant, even though you've met the 3 years physical presence in Canada, you do not automatically become a citizen at that time. You still need to put in all your documents and apply for your Canadian citizenship. Now, the average timeline it takes, it can vary from 4 months for some to as much as 2 to 3 years. Now, as you put in your online application for citizenship, you will be required again to calculate your physical presence just to be sure that you are eligible and your application is not rejected. For some, you may be required to provide police clearance certificates for every country that you've lived in for more than 6 months within the last 5 years. After submitting the application, you'll be required to complete a citizenship test, which can be online or in person. And for some others, you may be required to attend a citizenship interview, which can be either online or in person. Now, after all of these things have been done and you are approved, then you'll be required to attend your citizenship ceremony, which can be online or in person. Now, during the citizenship ceremony, if you requested for an electronic citizenship certificate, it will be sent to your profile after a few days from your citizenship ceremony. But if you are scheduled for an in-person citizenship ceremony, your citizenship certificate will be handed to you right there. After your citizenship certificate has been received, the next step will be for you to apply for your Canadian passport. This is not just a document that allows you to travel visa-free to almost every country in the world. It is actually a reminder that you now call home one of the best nations in the world.